Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Project Virtual Conference, and our session will be Microsoft Project and Planner, how to be agile using Microsoft tools. My name is André Xavier. I'm CEO of BHS. I have a blog. I speak in a lot of conferences, and I have more than 15 years working with project. I am a project MVP for 6 years, and we have together with me Mário Trentin. So Mário, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Mário Trentin. It's a great pleasure to talk to you about agile projects using Microsoft tools. I am currently in the PMI Education Foundation Board of Directors, a Microsoft MVP, and a consultant here in project management in Brazil. Let's go.
We have another participant in our session, Rafael, but he have some connection problems, so we are probably he will join in the question and answer in the end of the session. Rafael works in Sensei Solutions. So let's move on. First of all, today we have some challenges in the modern workplace. So we can see in the session, in the screen, that 62% of employees work from multiple locations in a month. So here in BHS we have a lot of consultants, so they work in different customers in each day. Sometimes even in a day he works in more than one place. I think Mary has the same problem.
Yes.
When he's doing his consultants.
Yeah, I think all the organizations have these problems of multiple locations, and I like this number of the 25% of our time, the average worker time, goes into looking for information, which is a huge effort. So every day, from 8 hours a day, you have 2 hours looking for information. And when you use Microsoft tools and you combine these tools using Planner and using Project in the right way, then you can find the information easily. It's much more effortlessly in a way to manage your projects, which is another important thing, because we are managing different projects. Currently, I have 17 projects. Andrea probably has a lot of projects going on, and when you have to open different files and you don't have the information, it is very low productivity in your daily basis.
Yeah, so like Mary said, we have a lot of features, products, and one important thing is even if Project Online it's a great tool for maybe your company or your department, maybe it's not the right tool for another company or another department. So we don't think that one tool fit for everyone. Do you agree, Mary?
Yeah, sure. Because you have different sizes and shapes of the projects, and you have the complexity, different complexity. Sometimes you have very small projects, and you still need to know what is going on and who is working on what. You also have medium projects where you have more collaboration, more people working, and you need documentation. And you also have large projects, the ones that you need a lot of tools to support procurement, to support any other different areas, knowledge areas to manage your project. And what I like in the Microsoft suite is that you have tools for each of these complex projects, since the smaller ones until the very large mega projects, and you can have it integrated.
Yeah, and we can put in these scenarios the maturity of the team. Maybe you have to choose one tool or another tool because the maturity of the team that you're working with, right?
Yeah, that's true. You have, since easy to use tools like Planner, where people don't need training, they can start using right away. And when you are using Microsoft projects, for example, usually you need some training because it is a more complex tool with more features and not so intuitive way to learn it.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide. The next slide it's showing a little bit what Mario had said, that Microsoft has tool for each complexity and each team. So we have the Wonder List that you can do the task management. They recently changed the name from Wonder List to Do. So this is a low maturity for individuals to management their tasks. And we have the high complexity for large group project teams. That's the PPM, the Microsoft PPM, the project online. And without Planner, we have a hole, a missing point for the medium complexity. So with Planner, we have tools for everyone in your organization.
And you can integrate those tools, which is really nice as well.
Yes, of course. This slide is show the power of the Microsoft Cloud. Like Mary said, you can integrate a lot of these tools. Some with more complexity, some they are still developing. But when we talk the Microsoft Cloud, we have a lot of tools like Azure, Power BI, Office 365, Dynamics, Visual Studio. So in this session, we are going to talk only with Microsoft PPM and Planner. Okay.
Yeah.
And talking with about Microsoft PPM, we have a lot of innovation going on. We have Power BI integration, resource engagement, more collaboration, PSI connector, the Planner integration, the agile support that we are going to show about. So Microsoft is always innovating the project online. So even the agile support they launched, I think 6 months ago, the first release, and then I think 1 month ago they released a small upgrade. So they're releasing new features to the tool. I think every quarter or every month, maybe. So, Mike, do you have any information that you want to share about?
I think it is really nice the way it is improving the tool in understanding the customer needs, listening to the user voice. So Planner connectivity really takes Microsoft project to a new level of collaboration, how we are going to see how it works, where you can have the tasks or work package in your schedule, and you can have it connected to a planner board where you can have a different team working on that. And also in the native support, I like it, the agile native support. We're going to see examples on how to use that. Even if you want to have an agile only project using Scrum or Kanban. And you can also have it a hybrid model where you can combine your Gantt chart, the view you have for the Gantt chart, with the control you can have of your tasks for each of your sprints. So adding more detail in the wave planning, rolling wave planning. You have your high level schedule, and you can understand better what you're going to do today, this week, next week, and plan in more detail, which really helps in the project execution, in your everyday execution. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and the next slide is about the announcement of the agile support. And one thing that it's very important, is available only for the project professional that it's combining in the subscription of Project Online Professional or Project Online Premium. So if you have a project professional or a project standard, it's not going to work with you. So you have to have a subscription attached in the project. So you can use the agile, choose how to work. Like Mario said, you can combine the waterfall and agile in the same plan. It's very interesting, and you can show all the transparency of your project when you showing the agile style and the waterfall.
Yep.
So you can manage your project in your way. You can show the tasks in the Gantt chart, and like you're seeing the screen, you can create a lot of sprints and share with your team in a new way that's not possible before. So you have Scrum, Kanban,
and this with all the features that you already have in project, which is really nice, because you can see the timeline, for example, and you can share the timeline with your stakeholders, with your client, and you can still have control over work, so working hours. You can have control on the costs for each of these cards, the tasks. You have the resources, the name of the people working in each of these tasks. So you bring a new level of detail, and this is what I really like it. We manage projects not only in IT, but we have projects in other areas, in marketing, in engineering, in different areas. And we always struggled with the fact that we have a high level Gantt. Sometimes not all the people in your project team have access to project. They cannot see. They will get reports, or they can have a PDF of the schedule, but they don't have a view of the schedule. Sometimes the schedules are very high level, so we have tasks with 30 days, 90 days, or even more, which is not good, because you lose accountability, who is responsible for doing something today, this week, and you also lose the detail. So adding this agile view, where you can plan your sprints, and you can still have your Gantt chart, and you can still have the project phases, your summary tasks, and you can add those to your timeline, is really a huge change in the way we manage projects. Now you can plan what you're going to do this week, sprint 1, for example. You have all the tasks there, who is responsible for that, and you can move the tasks and update your big picture, which is the Gantt chart and the timeline.
Yeah. So the first one is when you have the project subscription and you create a new project, you're going to see the two new templates, the Scrum project and the Kanban project. So if you choose to go to a Scrum project, you are going to see sprints, the sprint planning board. And if you go to the Kanban, you are going to see the backlog board. So in this Kanban backlog board, we can see the first upgrade of the feature that Microsoft add to the tool. If you see in the screen the set percent complete, Microsoft introduced this 1 month ago, so you can set some percent complete. Imagine that in progress I want to have all tests that are in progress. I want to set the percent complete to 50%, and in the complete task I want to set 100%. So if I move a task to this column, the task updates the percent complete automatically. So it's a simple feature, but give more agility to the project management.
And easy to use.
Yeah, and easy to use. So we already talked a lot of about project. Let's begin the planner. So the planner, like we said, it's work management for the modern workplace. So we have things organized quickly with effortless and achieve more. So it's a simple use tool that we can start very fast and integrate with a lot of people very fast using the browser, apps, and everything that we already usually use in our days. So it's simple. The visual, it's very, how I can say, very easy to understand. You don't have to go to a train to understand what we have in the tool. So it's for everyone. You don't need any training on your team. You don't have to worry about the majority of knowledge of the team. The tool it's easy to use, and like we said, it's effortless.
And it's really simple, and what it is nice is not only that it's intuitive, you don't need training, but you can use for different approach. You can use to manage projects, smaller projects or medium projects. You can use to manage daily activities. You can create, for example, this engineering team or a maintenance team, a help desk team, and then you can even integrate it with other apps in Office. So you can extend what Planner already has. You can add more summaries or more reports related to the tasks. You can also have documents and work with the documents there. So really working together effortlessly. When I see this picture where you can have all the documents embedded in the tasks you're working. So if you have a PPT or document, spreadsheet, any of these things. All the files are in the same place, organized inside your planner board here, and you can work effortlessly and work in any place you are because the files are shared here with the team.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's very easy. So we can see that file attached to this task is have to complete in this date. Alex is doing this task. We can see that this task from Pradeep it's late. We have some tasks. It's in progress. So this task has 16 items in the checklist, and Deborah already done 10 of them. So you don't have to enter in each task to understand, and like we can see here, you can customize your board, so it's a very easy to use tool. I just create a small one here to show you, so you can like I showed the checklist, so you can show the checklist on the board or just hide the checklist and show a small one. So it's a very easy to use tool. It's, like we said, you don't need to enter to a training to start with it. So,
and it's a great tool to collaborate, as we are going to show in the demo, because you can add subtasks as André is showing. You can add the deadlines. You can add descriptions, and on top of that, you can add the files you're working in each of these cards, and you can also have the communications. So when you add more people to the board, you can see the other people here and have messages and comments inside the task you're working.
yeah. So let's go to the best part of the session. Let's go to the demos, right? So let's share my screen. Hold on. Like we said in the Microsoft project, now we have two types of project, the Scrum project and the Kanban project. If you choose the blank or the waterfall, they use the waterfall methodology. So if you choose Scrum, you see that you have a new column that you have the planning, sprint, and manage, and agile here. So I'm going to switch to a demo plan that I have with a lot of tasks already created, so we gain some time here. So as you can see, we have a lot of tasks in the project. We still have the Gantt chart. We have a lot of tasks here. So we can do manual or auto schedule the tasks. We can input the duration, the start and finish, resource. We have a new column here if the task is agile or not. So we have the powerful of the all features that we have in project combined with agile. So if we went back to the planning, so we can see here that we have 5 sprints in this project. Some tasks it's without any sprint, so I can move the tasks very easy.
Yeah.
To any sprint, so we can move here, and move here, and we can enter in the sprint to see the detail. So I am the sprint one, so the sprint one it's in this between these two tasks, two dates, and I have here the tasks that are the backlog from this sprint, and this is status that we can set a percent complete. So every task that I put in done here automatically update the percent complete to 100%. So if I move this task from Alonso to here, this task is done. Very easy, very fast. And I can
already updates all the information for your project.
Yeah, so I can put like 500 here, and maybe 50 and 10 here, so I can move, and the percent complete of the task it's updated. If I go back here to any chart and insert the percent complete, I have the two tasks here with 10 and 50% complete. Very easy. So you can use very fast the tool.
And you also have all the power with the features in Microsoft Project and all the fields that you can manage. You have the resource here. You can manage in the resource spreadsheet. You could add costs or any other information for these resources. When you see the spreadsheet for the sprint planning sheet, then you can have the information, more complete information in different columns for each of these tasks. You can also double click in one task and go to detailed information for that task.
Yeah, I'm showing here as you're talking, Mario, so we can see our information that we already have this in project before. So in the agile, it's continue to have this our feature, and of course we have more than that. We have the reports, right, Mario?
Yes, and you also have the reports, which are really powerful. You have the agile reports. This is new, where you can have agile task status, you can have sprint reports, and you can customize your reports. It's really great. You have much more information. We were talking about information that we spend 25% of our time looking for information in our projects. And once you have that in a way that you can find easily and you can understand easily, it's much better.
Yeah, so we already have here 5 new reports already out of the box, and you can create more. It's easy to create new ones and update the out of the box report that you already have in the tool, right? So as we said before, we can use the agile feature combined with the waterfall to create a bimodal plan. So let me go back here. I have this project. Let me show the timeline. So the timeline that we already are familiar. I have here a lot of tasks. I can easily find which task is agile or not. So a lot of them it's not using agile methodology. So I don't have to worry about another way. It's the traditional way in Perl, and we have some of the tasks that I can see that it's agile. So let's move to the planning, and I can see that some of them doesn't have any sprint, and like we said before, we can move from
to the Scrum and also add more tasks, which makes it really agile.
yeah.
So you have this hybrid approach where you have a high-level Gantt chart for a schedule, and then you can move the tasks here, and you can add more tasks with little more detail.
And like I show here, we create a new task, and if we go back to the task is created, and I can see that it's using agile. If I create a new task and I change to no agile, so if I go back to the planning, the task doesn't appear here. So it's very easy way to not mess with your sprint tasks.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have the springboard for each sprint, so I can move like we showed before. We can see all the sprints, so we can see the word, what board they are, the resource, the task summary name, if have any deadline. So everything that we already had in the project, like showing the resource.
And you can add more columns, so show costs, you can create visual indicators, use formulas, everything that you have already in the project, yeah.
Yeah.
Custom fields.
I'm showing here too. I introduced a new column here, cost, so you can add columns very easy and very fast. And I can see all the sprints, very easy to create a new ones, and I can switch the methodology of my plan anytime that I want. If I want to go back and use the traditional way or change from Scrum to Kanban, I can easily change anytime that I want. So yeah. I think from the agile perspective, it's we have show almost every feature. That means so the new features that Microsoft introduced was this percent complete, the set percent complete, and the filter. So I can filter by resource. So show me only tasks from analyst, from project manager. So showing tasks from these summary tasks. It's very interesting when you have a lot of tasks here. In this example, it's not very easy, but very neat.
You can see it through phases.
Yeah, and it
in the summary task.
In the sprint planning board, and you enter in current sprint board. Okay. So, Maya, do you have anything more to say about the agile features in project?
I think it is important to understand that you have to use the tool, and you have a lot of features. It's really nice, great improvements, but also take care of your methodology. When you are using only agile, you're using Scrum or Kanban, Then you, as André showed in the first example, you go directly into the Agile project using Microsoft Project, and then you have your tasks, and they are not organized as a Gantt chart. That would be the Agile only. What you can also do, which is really nice, is that you can have a hybrid approach in which you have, let's say, traditional project management. You have the waterfall, your Gantt chart in a high level, where you have the summary tasks, the project phases, and you can combine that with more detail in planning your daily activities and your weekly activities. That would be the hybrid approach. When you have what André is showing right now, you have a Gantt chart and you can combine it with the task board. This is something that adds more power to managing, to the project manager, and you can still have the high level view and the big picture in the Gantt chart, and also in the timeline that is showing above. You can have the timeline there, and you can deep dive into the daily activities for each sprint and for each summary task in the project phases, which is really, really nice.
Okay, so let's move on to show how to integrate a project to the planner. So let me close this project. And let me close and open the project again. You have to open, in this case, we have to open the project again because you have to connect to a project online and publish the plan to integrate the project and the planner. So I'm going to connect to the project online from my company. I have already a project that are already published, so it's a new project without any tests, so I can create test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to integrate this test to a planner, I have just to click here to link the test. It's going to ask me my user.
And you need in the same tenant, you need an Office 365 plan that you have planner, and also you need the project online.
So you're going to see here that you can link the test and you can enter the name here. So I think we have I create the project group, I think was with that name, or let me.
And you also, you only can connect or link to a plan that is already created.
Project virtual conference. That's why.
Project conference. Yeah.
Virtual conference. So he asked me that I want to link. I create the link. Oh, I didn't publish the test, so we need to publish. And now I have a link. Now I have the icon showing me that I have a planner linked to this task. So if I click over there, it's automatically open the planner for me. Let me go back here, and if I click in the task, I can see the link over here too. So Um, for now, it's a very easy and just a link for the task and the planner. We don't have any integration that information from project goes to planner and planner goes to project. It's only a link. Today, if you want this, you have to go to a third-party tools, but out of the box, you have this way to link some tasks to Planner, and we can see some interesting things to do, like you can create. Imagine that you want to create a new task that is and I don't want to go to all details about the test. So I can create a planner that the test team will create a lot of tasks over there and just create a link. So me as the project planner, the project management can go to the planner and see how the test is going on. Do you have any scenario, Mary, that you want to share?
Yeah, I think this is really nice because it extends the features you have in the Microsoft project and also project online connected to Planner. And the way we are using is that first, you don't need a lot of Microsoft projects online licenses for your team members. You can have different teams, and they can be assigned to one of these phases, as André is doing. In the test phase, for example, you can create a planner, and you can have 10 people there, 30 people there, 50 people there, and they are going to detail what's going on. So I have a test phase that is going to that has a duration of 100 days, for example. I don't want to know the details, particularly when you have a large project. So I don't want to know the details of the test. I have a test manager or someone in charge of that. And then this person is going to take the test phase, which is 100 days, and he's going to create a planner board. In the planner board, they can have as many buckets as they want and all the features in Planner. And they also can create a calendar inside there with the dates for the completion of each of these tasks. And this person who is responsible for the board, the planner board, is going to help me in updating the task for me here. What I think is really nice is that you can have more than one planner connected to your project. So you can have a test team, you can have maybe an engineering team, different teams that are responsible for each of these phases. And you can use it in two ways that we are using in our daily projects here. The first is that you create a new planner and a new team to deal with this test phase, for example. But you can also already have a test team, and they have their planner board for all the activities they have from different projects, and then you connect there here. And they are going to use labels to differentiate in each of the projects they are using. It's a way that they can organize themselves in a single team using Planner.
Yeah, and one important thing that when you create the link, um, the project ultimately give to the project manager authorization to go to the and enter to the planner to see the details of the planner. Okay. So
Yep.
let's go and move on to the planner, Mario.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So let me close here. So let me open the planner. So when we open the Planner Hub, we can see the recent and all the plans. I'm not going to show all my plans, but here the recent one that I'm working with, the virtual conference, and I can see different views here. So the first one, the board, and I can create buckets here. I can show the group. So for who is assigned to, the progress, due date, and some labels. Let me show the progress. We can see some reports, some charts here. We can see a schedule here, so we can see more ways, and we have more things to add this plan to favorites, add plan to Outlook calendar, and let me go back here. And Mario, create some tasks so you can show how
Okay.
you are very fast.
I just created one task here, and you can have the start date, and if you have also the due date, then you are going to see the task in the calendar. Let me update it here. So yeah, now you have the
Now you have the merit new
yeah.
task here showing
Then you can have the task when it starts and when it's the due date. You can also add more information to the task, as Andre was showing. You can have the description, and you can have subtasks, show the subtasks in the card. Another very interesting feature here is that you can add a file. If you click in this task that I created, Andre, I already uploaded one PPT file. So if you click in the Mario's new task, and you can attach a file from the SharePoint, link it to this planner. Yeah, add a file, then SharePoint. And once you add a file that is Microsoft file, Microsoft Office, like this one is a PPT, you will see the information embedded. And you can show on the card, as Andre is doing. You're going to see what is inside that document. And you can click and edit that document. It would open PowerPoint online, and you could edit here, add it with multiple people, so all your team members, and you will always have the last version of your project. So if you click, and then it opens PowerPoint as Andre is showing here, we could edit together. Then we would have our names, and we could have a chat here. If I click here, I will join. It is really easy to use and a good experience that you have. So Andre and Mario are editing here, and we can see our different comments. And in the planner, you can have as many buckets as you want, as Andre created the buckets. You also can group by bucket, as is the standard. You see it grouped by bucket. But in your upper right here, you can group by other information, by assignments, or by other different ways. You also have the charts. Yeah, you can have this unassigned, what is assigned to Andre, what is assigned to Mario, different ways that you can see. In the chart here, you can have a view, but you can also edit the tasks. If you move your mouse cursor, you can see Andre's tasks here. He has 3 tasks. And if you want, you can click in one of those tasks and edit this task right on your right. It is really easy and effortless to use.
And we can, let me show to brothers. You can add some labels. So let me put this in the market. This is logistic. This is PM2. The session is market, and build PPM is market too. So we can group by labels too. So we have labels here, and of course you can move a task to label, and even like I move here, you can complete the task without changing anything, or you can complete by just clicking this icon here in upright. And like Mario showed, I can choose to show the PPT file or the checklist in my card. So if I close the checklist.
You also have the description and the comments, which is interesting. You can leave comments. I already uploaded this, I changed that, and you have a historical information for the people working in this task.
And of course, I can see who is Mario or Andre activity. So very easy to find the test from the resource, and very easy to give a test to a resource. So if I click here and put Mario, so me and Mary are going to work in this task. So it's a easy tool. You're not going to have too many complexity to start to work. And of course, you have the mobile app, so you can work in your mobile phone. So
and it's a really good experience in the mobile. You can edit the tasks. You can also open the files as we did here. You can create new tasks, change assignments. It's really, really good.
Yeah. So I think from the planner, it's that we want to show. Do you have anything more to?
I think that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move back to the PowerPoint, and let's open the question and answer. So it was a pleasure to be here with Mario Trentin, and I think Rafael already joined the session too. So we are now open to question and answers. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you a lot. It was really great, and let's see the questions. And you can also contact Andrea and Rafael and I after the session if you need any help.